welcome to our video on the top 5 cheapest countries for petrol. As we all know, the price of petrol can vary greatly from country to country. In some places, it can be very expensive and in others, it can be very affordable. In this video, we'll be taking a look at the countries where you can fill up your tank for less. So, let's get started. Venezuela. Coming in at number 1 is Venezuela. This South American country is known for having some of the lowest petrol prices in the world. The government heavily subsidizes the cost of petrol, which means that consumers pay just a fraction of what it actually costs to produce the fuel. In fact, it's so cheap that a full tank of petrol can cost less than a bottle of water. Iran. Next up on our list is Iran. This Middle Eastern country is home to some of the largest oil reserves in the world, which means that petrol is very cheap. Like Venezuela, the government heavily subsidizes the cost of petrol, which keeps the prices low. In fact, the average price of petrol in Iran is less than half of what it is in the United States. Sudan. Moving on to Africa, we have Sudan. This country is known for having some of the lowest petrol prices on the continent. The government heavily subsidizes the cost of petrol, which means that consumers pay a fraction of what it actually costs to produce the fuel. In fact, the price of petrol in Sudan is less than half of what it is in neighboring countries like Egypt and Ethiopia. Kuwait. Heading back to the Middle East, we have Kuwait. This small but wealthy country is another oil-rich nation where petrol is very cheap. In fact, the government subsidizes the cost of petrol so heavily that consumers pay just a few cents per liter. That means that a full tank of petrol can cost less than a meal at a fast food restaurant. Nigeria. Last but not least, we have Nigeria. This West African country is known for its large oil reserves, which means that petrol is very cheap. However, unlike some of the other countries on this list, the government doesn't heavily subsidize the cost of petrol. Instead, the low price is due to the fact that the country produces a lot of oil and has a competitive market for petrol. Conclusion. So there you have it, the top 5 cheapest countries for petrol. Whether you're planning a road trip or just looking to save money on your daily commute, these countries offer some of the most affordable petrol prices in the world. However, it's worth noting that while petrol prices may be low, the cost of living in these countries can vary greatly. So, as always, be sure to do your research before you travel. Thanks for watching.